you've been involved in a lot of superhero movies over the last 10 years. The genre is bigger than ever. Do you see the genre slowing down with more and more superhero movies and TV shows getting made, like almost an oversaturation? Or do you think, or what can keep the genre growing and keep it as viable as it's been? No, you know.
I think like any genre, the movies have to be good, and you have to keep the audience engaged. One of the things that we're doing when we're bringing together the DC Justice League universe, we're creating not only stories that work for the individual film, but they have some resonance to the other films that we're doing. And I'm hoping that that's also going to keep the interest very keen, is we're telling hopefully compelling stories. I mean, one of the great things about dealing with superheroes in general, at least from our standpoint, is they're both inspirational and aspirational characters. So you're hoping that the audience is going to want to be like some of them, but you're also hoping that the audience can relate to some of them. That if we make their stories compelling and relatable, interesting and emotional, that you're going to really want to spend more time with them. So you talk about Man of Steel, and I felt that Clark's relationship with both of his fathers was pretty emotional, and you can relate. Certainly people who lost a loved one can relate, and we all have at some point in our lives lost loved ones. So I think that even with Batman versus Superman, we want to have characters that touch us, right? And if we can continue to make films like that, then I think they're sort of genre-proof.
Jumping into Batman and Superman, I might have a question or two. This is a movie that myself and millions of people have been waiting to see. What can you tease people about the film?
Well, you will definitely understand when you see the movie why we call it Batman versus Superman.
I understand. I lost my. You know how much I love Man of Steel. I lost my shit when I was at Comic-Con and saw that footage on the roof with. Anyway, you understand. I'm very excited. What was your reaction?
Well, I gotta say, I'm excited too. I'm excited to have people see it. I think it's really a wonderful film. I think Zack's really done an amazing job. All of the actors too who are in it, we were so lucky. I mean, just think about the cast that we have, from Ben to Henry to Amy to Jesse to Jeremy. I mean, to Larry Fisher. We're just amazing, and they all really bring it. Really great. Really happy.
This is a question. I asked David Goyer this question. He just started smiling, and he answered. So hopefully you will too. What was your reaction after watching the first cut of Batman Superman and now the most recent cut?
Well, again, this goes back to what I keep saying to you about how many visual effects do you think are in the Batman vs Superman movie?
7.
So
I'm gonna actually say over. I'm gonna go with also 2,000.
No, not that many. I think it's about 1,500.
But it's a lot.
It's a lot. So, and also, one of the best things, I love the development process. I'm really happy with the pre-production process. I'm not crazy about the production process because it's really tense for a producer, particularly when you have a great filmmaker working on it. But the post-production process is so great because you're shaping something, right? You've shot it, and you always shoot, if you're smart, more than you can use because you want the ability to shape it. So part of the process of looking at all these cuts, you start with the longest version of the movie that you could possibly have, and then you go, okay, hopefully it's going to be painful to bring it down to some sort of size, right? And you're learning wonderful things about the characters that you shot, because even though you have a script, which is your blueprint, the actors bring so much. And when you have a visual filmmaker like Zack, just what he's shooting brings so much. And so the process is a very rewarding one to go through, seeing your first cut to what is very close to the last cut.
What do I need to do to get a 4-hour version of Batman Superman?
I don't know if it'll be 4 hours.
Because I will sit in that theater for 4 hours and watch.
I don't know if you'll ever get the 4-hour version,
Right.
But there may be something that's coming along that might be slightly less long than that.
Right, well, being serious for a second, a lot of moviegoers like, and I've heard moviegoers say this, like they want a 90-minute movie. And every minute closer to 120, you got to ask your audience a little bit. And like the new Bond is 2.5 hours. And a lot of big movies, Zack has made 2-hour, Watchmen was like 240 something. A lot of people are waiting for this movie. It's loaded with characters. Do you foresee the movie being like the 2.5 hour movie, or do you see it closer to 2?
I think the fans will be very happy with the length of the film.
I like that. That's a nice politician answer. I appreciate that. I'll ask a question that maybe you can't answer. A lot of people are dying to see more footage from the movie. Do you know when we might get a new trailer or TV spots or things to promote the film?
Honestly, you're going to be seeing something very soon.
I wonder, so does that mean it's on Spectre?
I'm not saying. What I am saying is you're going to be seeing something. Okay. Now, I don't know how you define soon, but certainly before the end of the year. How about that?
Sure. Well, the question a lot of us are wondering is whether it would be Spectre or Star Wars. Those are two huge movies. And Star Wars has Civil War, the Marvel, the Captain America.
If you do your research, I don't even know how many theaters Bond is going to be on, much less how many screens in those theaters, because as you know, with the multiplexes, sometimes depending on what else they're showing, you might be playing in every screen.
Sure.
And I think that Star Wars is going to be the widest release of all time. So I think a lot of movies are going to be on both of those. A lot of trailers are going to be on both of those movies, and I doubt that any one trailer is going to be on every one of those movies, except maybe like if it's a
Sony movie, yeah.
Right? And Star Wars is a Disney movie, so may have one. But I think there's going to be room for a lot of movies a lot of trailers on both of those films.
A lot of fans have talked about that they're basically a little nervous that Batman Superman possibly has too many characters, too many things being introduced. They're nervous about one of the things with Iron Man 2 was that there were just too many strands like being thrown in the air. Do you think that your script by Chris and David, do you think the movie is able to balance all that with do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think that's an issue for this film at all. I really don't.
So basically everyone can breathe easy.
I think that, the film is called Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice, so there's a reason it's called Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice, and not Dawn of Justice, Batman versus Superman. So you're going to invest mostly in Batman versus Superman, and, I think that you'll find some other characters in there that you hopefully will want to see more of.
I'm sure that's true. Everyone I've spoken with has praised Chris Terra's script. I just probably pronounced his name badly. What was your reaction?
Chris Terra's right.
What was your reaction when you read the script? Were you like, between everyone who's worked on it, we haven't?
Well, first of all, Chris Terra's a fantastic writer. We said it earlier, he won the Oscar for Argo. David Goyer's a fantastic writer, and I think we were very fortunate that it was, even though it wasn't really a collaboration, but it was a very good blending of the two guys' talents.
one of the things about Batman Superman, obviously we're all excited for the fights. That's going to be great. But the moments that I love in these superhero movies are the quiet banter scenes that go on between characters that you've always wanted to see talk in a movie. How hard was it? How much did you guys stress about those scenes between Clark and Bruce and the dialogue they're going to say and that banter?
I can't tell you whether I stressed or not. All I can tell you is I'm really happy we have them in the movie.
Yeah. Okay. I'll leave it there. I won't press you on that. This is something that I've really wondered about, and a lot of people have as well, which is Nolan and Snyder have set up a very science-based DC universe where things portrayed on screen feel like they're real, that it's grounded in some sort of reality. In this movie, you're introducing Flash, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, people with...
Has that all been confirmed?
Pretty confident. But let's just say hypothetically some of these new characters are being introduced. What's the balance, or talk a little bit about, balancing these characters with powers within the science universe, if you will.
Look, let's start with what we're doing with Man of Steel, right? What we started with Man of Steel, because Chris's Dark Knight trilogy was actually different in the sense that the Dark Knight trilogy had no superheroes in it, none whatsoever. It had a man who made himself both mentally and physically into the best a man could be. And the villains in that were also human, who, whether they were aberrated or not, were also heightened in terms of their ability to accomplish their goals through their own methods. Very real, very grounded, but of this earth, right? On Man of Steel, we also tried to make things feel as real as possible, but we took you to Krypton. We started on Krypton. We gave you Krypton technology and Krypton science, and you felt, and we tried to do it in a way like if there was this planet, and what was their culture, what was their language, what were they thinking about, what was their science, what was their technology, and we did try to make that real, but we were also taking you into an alien world, and I think we've tried to follow that, so make it feel grounded but still otherworldly. So whatever we do with any of these characters, we're going to want them to be grounded. We're going to want the science to feel real, whether it's of this world or not of this world.
That's one of the things I really loved about... I personally felt like Krypton was a real place. Like Exactly. It felt... You know what I mean? Like the science that was being used.
That's what we tried. And we tried to, when we brought it here, when Zod came here, we wanted to make sure that we followed that. We actually talked about what would that technology translate to here. And I think you'll see in Batman versus Superman, we stay true to that. We are attempting to stay true to that, right? How are things affecting Superman here? Batman is still human. He's not meta. He's just a human.
Sure.
Wonder Woman is a meta, if you will, right? Although some might think that she's a god.
Yeah, I'm going to lose my shit when I finally see this movie.